Breaking news, my wonderful mate Biafran brothers and sisters. I beg you, the news where they reach us here now is Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer and Nnamdi Kanu's younger brother Emmanuel Kanu have been brutalized. According to the information, they said that those guys are fighting for their life. And according to the person who sent me the details, said they are in ICU. We're talking about Aloye Jimako, who is one of the counsels of Nnamdi Kanu and the brother of Nnamdi Kanu. They were arrested yesterday, beaten to pulp, and they dropped them at where they call Abattoir in Abuja, underground cell. That is what is happening now. Anyway, here is another information. Carlo advocate for single-year term for president and governors. Exactly, this same APC was pushing P2B left, right, and center. In fact, let me call this one Aproko News. When P2B made this comment, hey, everywhere. In fact, it seems like P2B have punctured what they call it, a balloon that contains a lot of bad smell. Everybody was like, why would P2B make such a comment after he have already governed Anambra State for 2 terms, which is 8 years for 4 years? But now the same APC don't turn back again. Almost everything the APC are doing in this their administration, they are all being copied from Nnamdi Kanu, from P2B's manifesto. Even most of them, they admitted they copied from him, and they apply it wrongly, and it works for them wrongly. And when it works, in negative part of it, they come back to blame P2B. But those ones they are choosing from his manifesto and they apply it correctly, it works. Nobody will hear that voice again. That is how governance is. And that is how propagandous and how evil this party called APC terrorist organization operates. Anyway, another Aproko news here. Make una see wetin dey happen again, according to the information. Unmasking the materialization is a fairy call for southern Kaduna's liberation. A voice against marginalization and colonial legacies is part of the news we are going to look into as we come back. Another one, the last but not the least. Nigerian army don't confirm, say they don't kill their commanding officer. No be only one, not two, not three. About 6 to 9 of them, including civilian joint task force, which is CJTF. All of them, they don't buy them in Borno. How did it happen? They were ambushed. What is the secret behind this? Getting them ambushed every day in that Borno. You don't know the secret, right? Let me bust your bubble. The people who are giving those ones inside forest intel on when to attack all these ones are right inside the what? Inside the barracks. They are also among the military because they call them repentant Boko Harams, and then they integrate them into the society. Most sometimes they decided just to get information, get intel, and they will escape with the ammunition that have been left in the barracks. That is how, a failed nation and also a banana republic. Anyway, my people, let me not say much because they say Otutoku Adehono Kambwede, and I stand on that protocol to say let us go straight to the reason why we are here this morning. And let's go there, please. Help me like, share, comment, and keep subscribing for more interesting videos coming your way. So we are going to start this news from that very topic. Aloy Jimako and Emmanuel Kanu being brutalized. In fact, they are fighting for their lives in an underground prison, or rather underground cell in police post 2, which is called Abattoir in Abuja. Breaking news: Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer Aloy Jimako arrested in Abuja during the Free Nnamdi Kanu's protest. That is what is happening. And the younger brother of Nnamdi Kanu also beaten to pulp with a lot of injuries being sustained. And according to them, they said the voice they are hearing when they were beating them is like, since your brother refused to die, you are going to die. Since Nnamdi Kanu refused to die, we have done everything to quench him, but he refused. So you are going to die in place of him. That is what they are shouting when they were beating Aloy Jimako and Nnamdi Kanu's younger brother. Nothing we person don't go see for this zoo called Nigeria. Anyway, let us just leave that one for now and focus on this Carlo advocate for single 6-year term for president and governors. Anyway, Nigerian news is not part of my schedule, but let us just use it as a pro news. Let us see what they want to talk that part of what P2B have said before, and the same APC came back to say like the thing is smelling. Ndara. As a member of the constituted committee to review and amend the 1999 constitution, Senator Orji Uzor Kalu has proposed a significant change to the current political landscape in Nigeria. He has appealed to the people to consider amending the tenure of the presidency and governors to a single 6-year term instead of the current 4-year double term. According to Senator Uzor Kalu, this change will improve governance and discourage political distractions after elections. In a recent press conference, Senator Kalu explained his rationale for advocating for a single-year term, a single-year system for the president and for the governors. He pointed out that the current system of two 4-year terms often leads to a focus on re-election rather than effective governors. This can result in politicians prioritizing short-term gains over long-term development as they are constantly campaigning for their next term in office. Kalu emphasized that a single 6-year term would provide elected officials with a longer runway to implement their policies and fulfill their promises to their own people. It will also reduce the burden of constant campaigning and allow leaders to concentrate on delivering tangible results during their tenure. Senator Uzor Kalu highlighted that a single 6-year term will help to minimize political distractions and foster stability in governance with only one term in office. Elected officials would not be preoccupied with securing re-election, and they could focus on addressing critical issues facing the country without the constraints of electoral politics. Kalu's proposal has sparked a lively debate among political analysts, lawmakers, and the general public. Supporters of the idea argue that it will break the cycle of perpetual campaigning and enable leaders to concentrate on delivering meaningful change. They believe that a longer, uninterrupted term would provide the necessary time for comprehensive policy implementation and sustainable development. However, critics of the proposal have raised concerns about the potential lack of accountability that could arise from a single 6-year term. They argue that without the prospect of re-election, elected officials may become complacent and less responsive to the needs of the people. Additionally, some have questioned whether a longer term would exacerbate the concentration of power in the hands of a single leader. As the debate continues, Senator Kalu remains steadfast in his advocacy for the proposed amendment to the Constitution. He has pledged to work tirelessly to gain support for the initiative and to emphasize the potential benefits of a single 6-year term for the president and for the governors. In the coming months, the constituted committee will engage in extensive discussions and consultations to assess the feasibility of Senator Kalu's proposal and its potential impact on Nigeria's political landscape. The outcome of these deliberations would undoubtedly shape the direction of the constitutional review process and could lead to significant changes in the country's governance structure. Ruby Obinna, October 2025. Let me also help Uzor Kalu in this their quest for 6-year term. And at the same time, they have to make the senators and House of Rep members, whether elected or appointed, also 6-year single term. You can make this a proposal now because you have governed your state and you are not going back there again as a governor. And president, you are not even sure of even attending to as a as a Senate president, not to talk of president. So let us focus on House of Rep members and also the so-called senators. Senators have to also be made for one single 6-year term so that anybody who work finish will go back his home. Government offices and places are not retirement benefit for all these crooks who have nothing other to contribute other than to siphon public funds for their own personal gains. In other words, Uzor Kalu, even your Senate, you have to add it on this. That is have to be a 6-year term because If I'm not mistaken, since 2007 you left office, it has been from one Senate House to the other, from one Senate to the other. You have not left there since 2017 now. Do you know how many years it is? And you are still jumping from from one constituency project to the other. You can imagine this arrant nonsense. Anyway, what do I know? Why am I even commenting on their matter, which is their government of the day? It don't concern me. Anyway, let us read according to this information. Southern Kaduna's cry for liberation, a voice against marginalization and colonial legacies. They don't come back again to shout exactly what Nnamdi Kanu keeps saying on those days. In a passionate address that echoed the frustrations of millions, a prominent Southern Kaduna leader led by the deep-seated injustice plaguing the region, calling for its rightful place in the Nigeria socio-political map. Speaking at a community gathering, the orator, whose identity remained protected for security reasons, highlighted the demographic, geographical, and cultural erasure of the Southern Kaduna, drawing parallels to broader Nigerian struggle for liberty. Southern Kaduna, home to 3.9 million people according to the 2006 census. How many people died remain now? Spans a geographical landscape larger than 23 other states in the federation. Yet, its multi-ethnic and multi-linguistic composition, dominated by minority groups, has rendered it a perpetual victim of denial and domination. I want us to understand something. The speaker declared Southern Kaduna is made up of 3.9 million people, but because it is made up of multi-ethnic, multilinguistic, and minority ethnic groups, it is denied its rights. The rights plight, he argued, mirrors the global cry for liberation from oppressive regimes. When I hear people talk about liberty and liberation of Nigerians from Libya, I ask, why will they talk about my liberty and liberation from Niger, Plateau, Benue, Southern Kaduna, Nasarawa, Adamawa, Gombe, Bauchi, and Taraba? At the heart of the address was a scathing critique of Nigeria's distorted geographical design, not to unite but to oppress, urging the audience to visualize a straight line across Kaduna State on a map. The speaker reviewed how neighboring states have been misclassified to marginalize the middle belt. If you draw a line across Kaduna, straight across, you will find out that Gombe, Nasarawa, Bauchi, Adamawa are all below Kaduna on the map. They are not above. How can Taraba be northeast when they are below Kaduna? They are supposed to be in the middle belt. Somebody somewhere has changed your geography. Somebody somewhere has changed your mental thinking. Oh, and I just wake up from sleep, huh? No problem. To illustrate the absurdity, he recounted a grueling 9-hour drive from Kaduna to Enugu, a journey that followed the routes of the colonial masters to artificially distance communities. In America and Britain, roads are built so that it connects the nation together. In Nigeria, roads are built to connect colonial communities together, people who should be oppressed. The result, a villager in southern Kaduna, mere 4 to 5 hours from Enugu, is made to feel nearer to somebody who is 14 hours away due to engineered isolation. Look at the map here. He implored, pointing to Kaduna's position. Don't draw a straight line. You will see where Gombe, Adamawa, and others are. Who are doing this? Why is he doing it? The speaker turned his gaze to cultural erasure, honoring an eminent father from the region, a reverend traditional leader whose arrival commended the air of importance and cultural value. Yet, he lamented, such figures are relegated to second-class chief status compared to others nationwide. What makes him a second-class chief to any other chief anywhere in Nigeria? No reason. Why has somebody said another person is recognized as the first and others are second? What is creating this level of domination, according to the speaker. Apologizing for stumbling over the chief's strict title. Forgive me, sir. You make me twist my tongue. The orator underscored the intrinsic reverence these leaders deserve, stolen by arbitrary hierarchies. Categorically rejecting religious animosity, the address pinpointed a few in number, very few in Nigeria, who weaponize faith for personal gain. I believe a host of us sitting here will have nothing against any religion, because all religions are good and pure, based on the fact that there are people who practice it. But these manipulators, he charged, use religion to oppress others for their own good. They are using it to acquire land. They are using it to acquire power, and they never worked for it, but they are enjoying the bounties of the land. So they are not willing to allow anybody enjoy it, if not for them. The rallying cry culminated in an unyielding demand for restructuring. So anytime we want to look for freedom like restructuring, they say it cannot work. It should work and must work. As applause thundered, the speaker sat, leaving a charged silence. Southern Kaduna's 3.9 million voices, diverse, resilient, and united, refused to be silenced in a nation built on colonial divides. Their quest for true liberty challenges Nigeria to redraw not just maps, but minds. Last, but not the least, Nigerian Army confirms killings of commanding officer orders by Boko Haram terrorists in Borno State. The Nigerian Army has confirmed the killing of a commanding officer 202 Tank Battalion Lieutenant Colonel Aliu Saidu Paiko by Boko Haram terrorists in Borno State. Wonders shall never end. The troops have successfully located and destroyed identified Boko Haram camps in the area, thereby frustrating the terrorist plans to attack civilians and disrupt socio-economic activities in the area. During the operation, the troops engaged the terrorists in a fierce gunfight and neutralized several, while others suffered injuries. Anyway, to cut the whole story short, the Chief of Army Staff also reaffirms the Nigerian Army's unwavering resolve to pursue all terrorist elements relentlessly until total peace and normalcy are restored in the region and the nation by extension. In the spirit of respect and compassion, members of the public and the media are kindly advised to refrain from sharing or publishing images of personnel who have paid the supreme price during operations, generally until their next kin may have been duly informed. This is to preserve the dignity of such fallen heroes and protecting the privacy of their families. So, my good people, when I don't hear that, here we go take back break. One of the videos is coming your way. Like, share, comment, and keep subscribing for more interesting videos.